guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my very first wash and go. For this wash and go I used gel and mousse and it was really interesting. I got some really good results and I hope that you enjoy this video. The first thing I'm going to be doing is spraying my hair with just some regular tap water in a spray bottle, and then I'm going to go over that with the Wetline Extreme Professional Styling Gel. I've had this gel for a really long time and there's still a lot left in the container, which is great. And then I'm going to top that all off with some mousse. I've also had this mousse for a long time, but there really wasn't that much product left. Maybe only a third of the container actually had product in there. So I was really hoping I had enough for my entire head of hair. So I already did this part off camera. You can see that the curls are pretty defined, but there are some areas that are a bit frizzy, and I did end up going over that with some more product. I applied the product section by section, so I pulled out one twist at a time, and to do this I just used my fingers to rake through it to make sure that it was as separated as it could be, because I really want the style to have as much length and definition as I could get. So I sprayed it with a decent amount of water because that's supposed to help to weigh it down and add more definition to your curls once you put the gel over it, I think. So I'm using a generous amount of gel because I'm really going for length and definition. So I apply the gel all over my hair at once, and then I go back in and kind of just rake it through with my fingers, and I separate them to give the different smaller sections of hair a chance to clump together. And this little section of the video is kind of long, but I really want you guys to see how slowly I was going through everything because I'd never done this before. So I really wanted to take my time to make sure I was getting every single strand of hair coated with the product. So I even used a comb to go through it. I probably only used the comb on one or two sections because it really wasn't necessary. My hair was already completely detangled, and as you can see, the curls have really started to clump together very nicely, which is what I was going for. So now that I'm satisfied with that, I'm gonna take a decent amount of mousse, and then I'm just gonna run that over the section of hair, and it's kind of, I think it, I don't know, maybe seals everything in, because for me mousse is just like an anti-frizz kind of thing. It doesn't have a whole lot of hold, but it's kind of a nice, almost like icing on the cake kind of thing. So I'm running that through, making sure it's on every section of the hair, pretty much just doing the exact same thing I did with the gel, and nicely clumped together, very defined, very little frizz right here. And I'm going to pin that section off and do the exact same thing to the rest of my head. Now this hairstyle was heavily inspired by Kimberly Cherrell. She has a whole range of wash and go videos. I know she knows what she's doing, and I was pretty excited to try this one because I'd never seen anybody else use mousse and gel together for a wash and go. There are a few differences between my video and hers. She is using the Wetline Extreme Hair Gel, but hers is the one with the blue cap. I think that's the newer version of the one that I have, and she also used a different kind of mousse than I am using. And a major difference between hers and mine is that she didn't use water first, which I found really strange because she always says you need to make sure your hair is completely wet, make sure it's soaking wet so you can really get it weighed down before you put any of the other products on. And it was kind of weird that she didn't do it this time, but because it was my first time, I wanted to take all of the precautions, so I did saturate my hair with water before going in with anything else. The next difference is that she put the mousse first and then put gel over that, and then when she was done, her hair was bigger and poofier than you're gonna see mine being closer to the end of the video. And I thought it was really cute, but her hair is so much longer than mine. I think if I did it the same way, mine would have turned into more like a poofy afro kind of vibe, which is not what I was going for this video. So I put the gel first, because I'm thinking, well, second, so I put the water first and then I put the gel because I'm thinking the gel is gonna define my curls and weigh it down, and then I put the mousse on top of it as like a kind of topper, like I said, to seal everything in very nicely. So this is what my hair looks like. I'm about halfway through and I was really satisfied with how my hair was looking. My hair doesn't look like this on its own. Obviously it takes lots of product and lots of effort, but I did like it so far. My concern at this point was, well, I had two concerns. The first thing was that it was gonna dry and shrink up like to my ear and just look really short and awkward. And the second concern is that it would leave a very thick white cast and then maybe flake, because I'm not sure how gel and mousse work together. So I was very hopeful that it would be fine, but I was also concerned because, as you can see, my entire head of hair looks white and chalky. So I was really kind of nervous to see how it would look when it dried. It seems I had just enough mousse for my entire head of hair, because as you can see, this container is pretty much finished. So I took that small amount, rubbed it between my hands and pressed it down into my hair right where that part is, because I didn't want it to be frizzy. So it was just like for extra support, I guess. But this is it. I really like it. It feels light, even though I know that the gel is weighing it down significantly. It does still feel really light. It's easy for me to move my hair around, even though it's clumped together. I felt like this was gonna be a really cute style. So now it's the next day. Good morning. And this is just how I put my hair away to go to bed before putting it under my headscarf, because I didn't want the hairs to be flying all over the place, and I also didn't want them clumped up in the wrong places either. So in the morning, I would say my hair was about 75% dry, and that's because my roots were still very, very wet to the touch, but the length of my hair was definitely dry and it was holding the shape. I actually thought that it would be more frizzy and a little bit squished the next day, but I was very satisfied with the definition that I still had. Here I'm just picking it out a little bit so it's not as flat as it was when I woke up. And it doesn't have that white cast or any flaking that I was worried about the day before. Once it was dry, all of those white spots went away, which I was really, really grateful for. Also, it does have a bit of hardness to it because of all the products that's holding those curls in place, but it's not like rigid where I don't want to touch my hair at all. It still has some looseness and some amount of movement, which I like. And I do like this hairstyle overall. I think for a first attempt, this was really good, and this hairstyle actually served me about 5 or 6 days before it started to look frizzy, like I needed to change something. So thank you guys for being here for my very first wash and go. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and yeah, you'll see me next time.